Alright, this is a quick update. I had my PET scan, which I mentioned in my last video. Cut. Welcome back, folks. Thanks for coming back to my channel. Obviously you're following this, and I appreciate that you are following this. I'm going to try to add updates as I get them in. I'm not seeing the doctor or doctors weekly, so it's not like I'm going to have a weekly vlog, but I will put these up as I get some information. I mentioned in my first video in this cancer fighting series, I guess you call it, I had a PET scan on Friday the 21st of January 2022, and then I had a follow-up appointment with my oncologist, Dr. S, as I'm going to call him. I'm not going to name any names. I'm not going to name any medical groups, just to eliminate any issues. So I had a follow-up to go over that PET scan, and I had recent labs a week or so ago. So I had that appointment on the 24th, and he informed me that because the other medical group is not cooperating, I guess you call it. He didn't say this, I'm just assuming that this is the sequence of events, but he's unable to get a complete report because they sent out a metabolic study, I guess they call it. Basically, they look for markers in my cancer to see how they're going to treat it. This was sent out by the previous group that I was with, which starts with S. And they sent it out, and when I switched over to the new medical group, starting with M, as in Mike, they said they could use that study or that marker report going forward. So I didn't have to redo the biopsy. I didn't have to redo the metabolic study. I call it a metabolic study, and I mentioned that to the doctor, and he seemed to say, no, it's not really a metabolic study. It's whatever. They're obviously checking something in the cancer cells that determines how they're going to treat my cancer. So anyway, he was able to get that report, but it was only a partial report. Right in the actual report it said, a complete report is with pathologist so-and-so, doctor whatever, and he needs that, okay? And then the PET scan I had on the 21st was supposed to be to compare to my last PET scan, which I had in November of 2021, with medical group S. My old doctor H sent that out, had that done. Well, the long story, or the short story, is that because I went to the facility that is part of the parent, I guess you call it the parent group, not the actual group I was with, they didn't have direct access. My doctor could access it, but when my new doctor tried to get that documentation, because it wasn't direct, it's turned into a kind of a pain in the butt. So anyway, he could not get the report for the November PET scan. And he needs that to compare to the one I just had on the 21st. That's one of the big issues. He needs that, and he needs the complete study from this company that starts with T. So now, today, I have to go and get a hard copy of the November PET and actually hand deliver it to my new doctor, because it's going to be the fastest way to do it. So I got to go do that. The metabolic study, from what I understand, I called and I said, my new doctor needs that complete report, and they supposedly are going to send it. I got to find out. So once those two items are received by my newest oncologist, Dr. S, he can formulate an exact plan. But the tentative plan, I guess there was a marker that did come up that excluded me from immunotherapy. That was one of the possibilities when I first started all of this whole new battle. Was immunotherapy, chemotherapy, oral chemotherapy, or IV. That's going to depend. Radiation wasn't on the table in the beginning, but now it is. So anyway, one of the markers that came back in the metabolic study that he did receive excluded me from immunotherapy. So immunotherapy is off the menu. I can't do that. Which is like, okay, I was thinking, well, that's the least severe, I guess, in treatments as far as all the different possibilities. So as of Monday, which is the 24th, just a couple days ago, as a matter of fact, today is the 26th of January. I'll probably be posting this later today or tomorrow. Anyway, so as of the 24th, as of my walking out of the office, I still needed the hard copy of the November PET scan. He still needs to review that. He still needs to get the full metabolic study. But tentatively, depending on the comparison in the PETs, if there's no growth, so in other words, if it's stabilized from November to now, or it hasn't grown much, from what I remember, the doctor said there's a possibility of doing radiation on one of the masses. I've got a total of 5. The largest of all of them is in my right lung, front in my diaphragm. This is the best way to explain it. And they actually said it's in my diaphragm. That mass is 4.3 centimeters or 43 millimeters. It's the largest I've ever had. I think that's even larger than my original mass in my colon. So there's a possibility that if the PET scans show that there hasn't been a lot of activity or as far as growth, radiation on that mass in my abdomen and no chemotherapy. And then just basically monitoring to see if the other nodules or masses or whatever you want to call them in my lungs, see how they do, and then go from there. The option is, I guess, if the mass, the 42 millimeter or 43 millimeter mass has grown significantly in the last couple months, chemotherapy, and that's going to treat everything, I guess. This is the way I understood it. I went by myself this time. Usually my sister-in-law goes with me. She got COVID. She's my second set of ears where I can say, what did you say? Or what do you remember what he said there? Usually I'm when I listen to the doctor, I'm pretty in tune to, I'm listening to everything he says, every word he says. That way I don't misrepresent what he may have told me. But every time I go into one of these appointments, it's just so much information. I should record it. I should take my camera. So anyway, that's where I'm at as of today. I'm going to go out. I got to run. Like I said, I'm going to have to go get the hard copy of the PET scan. Got to go to the pharmacy, and then that'll be today. And then tomorrow I will probably drop that off at the oncologist, and then go from there. So on a side note, or what I wanted to make a comment, and I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to mention any medical groups, but I wanted to put this out there is, you see advertisements for, at least in my area, and I live in the San Diego area, you see these advertisements for the different medical groups, and it's an advertisement to get you to come to them, to their group. And they all say, we're all about the patient, we're all about healing, we're all about this. It's all very positive. We're all about you, and we're going to take care of you, and we're going to take. But then when it comes down to a situation like I'm in, which I've been in more than once, where I'm switching groups, it's almost like a bad divorce or a bad breakup. They don't want to cooperate with your new group, your new boyfriend, or your new husband or wife. And that's the vibe I get, that it's just, I've got my new group trying to get documentation from my old group, and my old group is pushing back, or they're dragging feet. I sent a message to my last doctor, Dr. H, And he had messaged me saying that he would cooperate if I need anything. Because I told him, I didn't say I was leaving because of him, even though that's the case. I just said I'm switching groups. He assumed I'm switching insurance, which I did not ever say. I never said I'm changing insurance. I said I'm switching groups, which I am doing. I'm not the kind of person to go run the guy down on all the negative stuff for why I'm leaving that group and him. There's no point. He's probably a good doctor. He's just not good for me. That's the way I look at it. So anyway, getting back to my point here is these groups put out these advertisements to get you to come to them, but then when you need to leave them or you want to leave them or you choose to leave them, they make it hard, and then it becomes, it's no longer about you and your health and your wellness, and they don't care about you anymore because you're now leaving them. You're now leaving, and it's just like a bad divorce, like I stated. Was why, if you ever cared about me, then why don't you care about me now? Oh, because I'm leaving you, because I'm leaving the group, or I'm going to a different group. I'm not doing this because I don't like the people there. I'm doing this because the communication was horrible. I wasn't told things that I feel that I needed to. If I didn't ask, or if I didn't think to ask, I'd have to go on American Cancer Society and read up on stuff and then say, well, hey, why is this CEA so high, doctor? Oh, well, yeah. Then it became your blood work looks good. It's like, well, what about that reading? That CEA is very high, isn't it? Oh, well, yeah, it is. Why aren't you telling me this? Why am I having to play doctor and read up? There's nothing wrong with being your own advocate, but I shouldn't have to drag out of the doctor information that he should be telling me right up front. So anyway, I just wanted to touch on that. That's kind of the experience I've gone through in the past, and I'm going through it again, where this new doctor is telling me, we've reached out to your last group and we're not getting information that we need. And then I have to call and say, hey, I need this. Oh yeah, you can come down and get it. So now I literally have to go drive down to a facility to get a hard copy, because they won't send it to me. They won't send it to my new doctor. They won't upload it. So, and in this day and age with electronics and everything, now I understand HIPAA and this, that, and the other thing, as far as, certain files can't be transferred because of HIPAA laws, but I'm the patient, I'm authorized. If I say, I need you to send me that document or that PDF or that image file, then you need to do it. I'm authorizing you to. I want it. You're not sending it to the third party, you're sending it to me. They didn't even offer to snail mail this disc. I literally have to drive in with an ID. Guess that's part of the deal. I have to prove who I am. So anyway, that's this. I know this went longer than I wanted it to. It was supposed to be short and sweet. So we'll see what happens. The next video I make will probably be a plan from the doctor.